Hi everybody, this is Paul Rizik and I'm back again with another farm to school update. So, as you can see, we're back in the garden, and before I get into the next lesson, I want to talk just quickly about the stuff we did. By now it was like about a month ago. So as you can see, these middle ones are the cabbage, these left ones here are the kale, the right ones are the kohlrabi, and the tomatoes are in the back here. You can see that we're batting about 500 here. So the kale is starting to come up. You can see the little sprouts here, and as are the celery. The kohlrabi, not coming up so much. This is actually, I didn't realize this until after I planted, but this tree up here is actually, it's kind of losing its leaves, and they're all kind of falling into our plant beds, but I think they'll be fine. And then also the tomatoes, we haven't seen anything yet, but you know, I'm still not giving up hope. I'm still watering them every day. But today I want to do something maybe a little bit closer to home for most of you guys. I'm gonna replant some garlic that has just been sitting in my pantry. So this is all garlic that I've had for a couple months. For whatever reason, I never got a chance to use like these specific cloves, but you can see these little green stalks are starting to shoot out. That means that the garlic is essentially trying to grow again. And so we're going to help it along by putting it in some beds, giving it some soil, and yeah, in a couple months we'll have probably more garlic than we can use with just these 3 cloves. That's kind of the miracle of gardening. You can get so much from so little. So I'm going to fill these up with soil, and then it's just a matter of planting these green side up, and just making sure to water it and give it plenty of sunlight, just like any other plant. So this is going to be more of a quick lesson, but I do think that pretty much anybody can do this at home. You can also do a similar thing with things like onions or even potatoes, if they've just been sitting in your cabinet and they're starting to sprout. And yeah, it's a great way to kind of get more bang for your buck when you get groceries. And yeah, generally, as I always say, you know, food that comes fresh from your garden is always going to taste better than the stuff that you can get in the grocery store. So I'm going to plant all these, and I'll be right back. So I'm not sure I was entirely clear in the last part when I was talking about how much garlic we'll get from just these 3 garlic plants. So each plant actually is comprised of a bunch of what are called cloves, which are these little segments. If I can rip one off here. Yeah, so like, you know, there's one garlic plant, but there's like maybe a dozen or so cloves in each one. So this little thing is its own kind of, this is called a clove. It's basically its own plant. So, you know, from each of these garlic plants, we can get, you know, however many cloves. I would say from this one, it's probably like 6 or 7. And so instead of having just 3 garlic plants to plant, we actually have like a lot more. So, yeah, I'll start. Well, just as a demonstration, I guess, I'll do this first one. I do have my trowel here, but I'm just going to use my hands. It's not that big a deal. It's literally just like putting it into the soil, making sure that the green part is like still has some sunlight, and then, yeah, and then just watering it from there. So I'm going to repeat this with, I have like 10 pots here, and yeah, I'll come back once that's done. So these are all planted now, and as you can see, out of 10 pots, we didn't even make it through 2 full garlic plants. Like, we still have this little bit left over from the second one. So like literally, like this one like garlic plant can just expand and become so much more, which is like, it's just so cool to think about, you know, how much you can get out of it. So in the time since our last video, I've kind of upgraded my gear a little bit. I now have this handy dandy hose. So yeah, I'm just gonna try kind of water away and make sure everything gets nice and wet, and send the garlic on its way. And we'll check in along with the other plants as soon as stuff starts happening. So I know this was a shorter one, but it's honestly, you know, it's not every video has to be about 30 minutes long. So thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, I realized after a couple videos ago that the comments are actually disabled for the POSD YouTube channel. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is flashing on the screen right now. It's just paul.rizik@prescottschools.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.